Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you have not been here before. My name is Tess Bloxam, and today I'm going to be talking about something that honestly is very important to me and is something that I feel like is talked about somewhat, but I just wanted to come on here and share my own opinion about it because it's something that means a lot to me. Let me set the stage with like an instance from my life that kind of like when I think about this topic, this instant is like immediately in my mind because it was just such a obvious representation of what it feels like. So after my senior year of high school, me and my friend group, so 9 of us, went on a grad trip to California. We were going to go to Disneyland. We went to the beach. It was super fun. I had an amazing time. It was great. On the trip, now the trip part doesn't really mean that much, but it happened while on the trip, so I was like, might as well share it. On the trip, we were staying in this house with some people that one of my friends knew. We walked out, we went around the town, and we were talking. I was like, oh my god, like one day, like I would love to like have a house here, or like have like another home, or like a vacation home here. And one of the guys in my friend group, who he's my friend, he goes, oh, like you're never going to be able to afford that, like not with the kind of money you're going to be making. And it was based on the fact that at the time, I was planning on studying history and woman, gender, and sexuality studies. And those too many people are seen to be like unimportant majors that won't get you anywhere in life, majors that won't make you any money. And so when he said that, I was kind of like, what? Like I almost started crying. Like I had to walk away and like ground myself. And my friend, who at the time was dating that guy, came up to me and was like, I'm so sorry, because she also is studying poli-sci, so political science, which slightly different, but falls in the same category. And I was like, we were both like, oh my god, that's so stupid, like why would you say that to me? Because first of all, I don't care about the money. Maybe that's because I have been fortunate enough to grow up where money has never really been an issue for me, and so therefore like that's not the forefront of my mind. I understand that for some people who maybe have had not as ample economic resources as I have, might be more inclined to try and get a job based on money because they want that safety net, they want to have a good income, which is fair. And I'm not downplaying anybody wanting to have a job that makes a good amount of money, because that's literally what jobs kind of are for. I don't really care about the money. That's not why I was upset. I wasn't upset because I was like, I'm not gonna make any money. It's not what I was upset. I was upset about the fact that it just seems like that just undervaluing and undermining these non-STEM courses is just so common and prevalent. I go to a university that is well known for its STEM courses. I go to the University of Washington, which is known for having a really good engineering program, a really good computer science program, a good business school, and then of course like we're well known for our social sciences as well, and like our arts and humanities. But those like 3 like schools are like what like the university, like a lot of kids try and get in to those specific majors, which are capacity constrained, meaning they only take like a certain amount of people, so it's competitive. And I go here and I'm not a STEM major. I am currently on track to major in law, societies, and justice, which is kind of a prerequisite to then maybe trying to get into law school. I think at the current moment, I'm planning on going to law school. Whether or not that will change, who knows, because I always say like, this is what I'm going to do, and then things change. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. That's what college is like. Like things are constantly like, I might want to minor in history, but what I'm trying to say in this whole thing is that instance that I had where my friend was like, oh, you're never going to make any money. It's not uncommon for non-STEM majors to get told that, or be told that their major is worthless, or that it's not going to get them anywhere, and that it doesn't add any value to society, which is insane. Because arguably humanities majors and social sciences, which I'm technically fall under like the social sciences, but I usually put it underneath the bracket of like humanities, because it's like I think of STEM and then humanities. And of course there's so many different branches and so many different types, like, and some that cross back and forth, but I'm just saying like STEM, humanities, just for simplicity. What I was trying to say is that, honest to God, I think that both STEM and humanities are completely equal in the fact that they bring so much value to society. And also, basing whether or not a major is like good based on how much they can benefit society, I feel like it's kind of a flawed way of thinking about it, because what does it really mean to benefit society, and why is it that STEM is held to do that more, I guess is my question. But it's not an uncommon experience, and trust me, I also experienced this a lot in my senior year of high school, when my friends, who I went to a high school very predominantly STEM people. Like, out of my graduating class, I think, there wasn't many of us. There was probably 90 of us in my graduating class. I think about 80 were STEM majors. No hate to STEM majors. I'm not hating on STEM majors. This is not what this video is about. I have so many close friends. I'm surrounded by STEM majors, and that's okay, because you know what? Being a STEM major doesn't make you bad. Neither does, like, it does not matter that much. What I'm trying to say is that there's sometimes a certain mindset behind people who are STEM majors, as like looking down upon other majors because maybe their coursework isn't as hard, or like they're not going to be able to do anything with their major, which first of all is just not true. I'm going to share another example, because there's actually many examples where I was told that my major didn't matter and that what I wanted to do was stupid. So let's get into it. I guess I'm just dumping a bunch of random information now about my own personal, but then I'll get more into like my analysis of it. I had an ex-boyfriend who, right after graduation, or around the time of graduation, one of my friends was planning on majoring in English. Like, that's what she wanted to study in college. And we were talking, and he was like, I was telling him about how, like, there's so few, like, STEM majors or non-STEM majors. He was a STEM major, whatever. And I was like, like, these are the few people who, like, aren't, like me, my friend, this other girl, my other friend. And I was saying that, and he was like, like, isn't she studying English? And I was like, yeah, it's super cool. Like, I love that. And he was like, that's kind of like a useless degree. Like, what are you going to do with English? And I was like, so actually, like, it's a really important degree, and actually, your opinion's wrong. I was very upset. We got into this, like, whole debate about it. And I was like, if you think her degree or what she's wanting to major in is dumb and, like, not important and he literally was like, doesn't benefit society, shut the fuck up. I was like, well, then what do you think of mine? Because mine isn't exactly that far off. And yeah, that happened a lot. I was largely surrounded by people who were all STEM majors. Both my parents are STEM people. My mom majored in math and science. She's a math teacher. My dad is an aerospace engineer. So got two very STEM parents. But kudos to them, because they have never made me feel forced to try and pursue something STEM related. Like, I'm very thankful that my parents were never like, yeah, you need to do exactly what I did, or you need to be a STEM. They have been very loving and caring about what I want to do, and very supportive of it. So I'm forever thankful for that. I love you, Mom and Dad. My brother seems like he's going to be going on the engineering path. He's still in high school. He's got whatever to figure it out. But he's a STEM kiddo. And sometimes it feels like I'm see things slightly differently. Not from my family. My family, like, some STEM people, just like the way that STEM people versus humanities people sometimes just view the world a little bit differently, in that sometimes we value different things. And that's not to say, I am never saying that STEM people, like, you guys have it easy. Never saying that. But I am sick and tired of STEM people being like, you humanities kids have it so easy. Like, you guys, like, don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to take math. Shut up, okay? You want to come write these 4 midterm papers that I have to write? Go right ahead. Write those for me. Let's see how you do. That's what I'm saying. It's like, people are always like, oh, the engineering majors have it super hard. And it's like, yeah, they have it hard. But do they have it harder than anyone else? Maybe. Who knows? Not trying to get controversial here, but like, throughout college, I've met so many different people in so many different majors. I am majorly friends with people who are other humanities majors, just because you tend to run in the same packs with people, especially when I have classes with those people. Like, I'm obviously going to become friends with people who have similar interests and majors as me. Besides the point. But there's been so many people like, oh yeah, the engineering majors have it hardest. Like, they think it's so easy for like humanities kids to do it. And it's like, sure, maybe there's like slight differences in the amount of assignments. I mean, our engineering school is very well known and like well regarded and stuff. But I don't think that, sure, they're different types of hard, but I don't think they're different levels. Sure, I don't have to take math and calculus, thank God, because I don't like it. But also, as much as I might have struggled in those classes, an engineering kid might struggle super hard in an English class, or in an American ethnic studies class, or in a law, societies, and justice class, or an arts class. Like, there are different types of hard, and just because a STEM major is hard does not mean that everything else is easy. Case in point. And I don't really know where I was going with this. I just kind of felt like ranting, and so this is where we got. But, of course, I'm not saying like all STEM people think they're superior. I don't think that. They don't think that. That's not true. But there are definitely some people who look down upon humanities students because they do not see their major as valuable, because they're not going to be building things or solving advanced equations and stuff. And it's like, yes, like, STEM is important. Doctors are important. I will never question that. But also, writing is important, and literature is important, and acting is important, and theater, and film, and poetry, and all these different types of arts. And then also, like, law is important. It is. And communications, journalism, like all these things that it's like, you don't realize how much of a role that humanities plays in your life. Like, it plays so much of a role. Same as STEM, like, they both play such a huge role in the ways that we go about our lives. And I feel like sometimes people forget that. And also, what you major in college is not always going to determine exactly what job you get. Like, some people major in like English and then end up getting a job in like an office working for like an engineer. Like, things like your major does not always directly correlate with what job you're going to get. So, yeah. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this too. Like, if you are a STEM major, what are your opinions? What are the ways that you've seen your classmates act about it? If you are a humanities major, do you ever feel like you've been undervalued or put down because of what you're deciding to study? And this topic is very interesting to me. And I'm low-key running out of things to say. Like, I have so much going on up here, and it's not translating to words, so I'm just kind of saying things, so I apologize for that. I've never watched The Dead Poets Society, which don't come for me. There's a lot of good films that I have yet to see, because sometimes I just don't watch movies as much. I'm getting to it. I'll get to it, okay? But I do remember in it where it's like, they're learning poetry and stuff, and Robin Williams is in it, I think, and he's like, but like, human art and love and all this kind of stuff is like, poetry and literature, it's like so important, and people just downplay its role a lot of the time because it's part of human expression, and it's part of how we communicate with one another and how we put what's going on up here out into the world instead of just orally saying it. But also, orally saying it is important too. It's just a very nuanced topic, and it's something that I personally am just very sick and tired of people downplaying my own effort and work when it comes to what I'm wanting to study. Because, me personally, at UW, the Law, Societies, and Justice major is capacity constrained, meaning that I have to apply, and if I don't get in, then I'll have to pick another major to do. And it might not be quite as competitive as the computer science or the engineering or the business school, but it's still something that I'm working towards. And something doesn't have to be capacity constrained as a major for it still to be difficult. Like, people are constantly shitting on, like, communications majors and, like, arts and, like, theater majors, which maybe it's because sometimes they're predominantly female or feminine majors. And I'm just saying, it's like in this thing of like communications. I know a lot of men do it too. Like, I'm not being like, oh, only women do this. No. But they are seen to be more like somewhat feminine. And maybe that's why they're shat on. Shat? Ugh. Why they're shit on more. Shat. Oh my God. And also STEM has predominantly been seen as more of like a male or like men job kind of thing. You know, like women in STEM. I'm here for you guys, sisters. Yes. You are so amazing and inspiring and talented, but that also doesn't mean that women in humanities aren't just as inspiring and talented. But yeah, STEM is a predominantly male field. And in recent years, you know, it's getting better. We're getting there. But it's still like, women weren't allowed to go to college until like a few, like, decades ago. I don't know the exact date, I'm sorry. But maybe that leads to kind of why we value one over the other as a society, not as individuals necessarily. But yeah, let me guys know your thoughts and feelings. I already asked about that, but I just want to know, like, I want this to be a conversation. This is not a very well planned out video. I'm so apologetic for that. I did not, like, I wrote down a few notes on my computer, and it was 2 things, and it was what I talked about in the first, like, 2 minutes. So yeah, I've just kind of been ad-libbing it the whole time. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys' thoughts and comments are, and please know, like, if anyone in the comments is like, well, actually STEM is like so much harder than this, I don't care. I love you all so much, and thank you so much for your support. I have so much fun making these videos and really enjoy getting to edit them and then post them and like have conversations with you guys in the comments. And it's really great, like, creating this community. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful time, a wonderful day, a wonderful year. And I hope that this video finds you at a good time. It would be amazing if you could subscribe, like, comments, anything like that. And if not, that's okay too. But I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all so much. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.